Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Uh, I'll say I've known about Federal Way Black Collective for several years, and there's been a lot of work happening in the Federal Way area, but you guys also connect to different organizations across the county. Tell us
Mhm.
what Federal Way Black Collective is.
Federal Way Black Collective we're a community service organization. We're an organization that believes in empowering Black people within Federal Way, but empowering our community to be able to thrive and not just survive.
Mhm.
I think so often that with all of the different with the pandemic and all the different things happening, within the community, oftentimes we focus on surviving, just getting through the day to day. And so with the collective, our focus is making sure our community can thrive. So we help small businesses. We have a program, Small Business Resiliency Network, that brings in small businesses. We provide uh, planning, business planning. We provide different programs that these businesses can use to be able to get started and to be able to flourish.
Yeah. We talk about the need of small businesses as like the backbone of American economics. And it is true. Without we saw a real decline
Mhm.
in Black business ownership when the pandemic hit. But one of the things that I was so inspired by is that we also saw a real uptick in
Mhm.
Black owned women businesses
Mhm.
throughout the pandemic. I think a lot of people went back to, you know what, I've had this idea on the back burner. My 9 to 5 is, reduced hours, or
Mhm.
now, they had to shut down the campus because of COVID. A lot of jobs shifted. And so a lot of people stepped up to the plate and said, I got to do something different.
Mhm.
When you think about, you just coming into the role, tell us a bit about what you did before entering Federal Way Black Collective, where you can bring that your lived experience and expertise into the role as executive director.
Sure. So I'm a community organizer. I'm a community advocate within the city of Lakewood. And so my passion is community. It has always been community. Even from a small child, my grandmother, she didn't have an organization. She wasn't, real known in the community. Um, but she had a heart for people. And so this is a generational work. And so my family has an organization, Springbrook Connections, within the city of Lakewood, where we service our community. It's a community led organization, a community organization that is empowered by the community. So everything that the organization does is centered around what the community has asked for and what they want. And then the community comes together and they volunteer, and they've really taken on their neighborhood, and it's not really giving back. I think it's empowering ourselves to be able to thrive and do better.
Yeah, I think about the need for community based organizations, particularly where community members can feel safe and confident that they can
Mhm.
bring their voice to something and draw on that collective nature of power of the
Mhm.
collectivism, right? Like for me, that's exactly why I even do this. It's a part of me and my advocacy, right? Is I want to be able to uplift all the great things that are happening. But it's interesting how when you're in the community and then serving community, you
Mhm.
have this kind of dual thing happening. And I'm
Right.
sure you experience that so much. What are some of the joys that you've already experienced in your role as executive director for Federal Way Black Collective?
Just being able to really help the community and to be able to engage with the community. I'm excited about our community coming together and telling us how they would like us to service in that community. I think oftentimes organizations get created, and they get created out of a heart and passion for wanting to do something, but they forget the people, that they're
Mhm.
serving. So oftentimes programs are created that nobody's utilizing because nobody went to the community to say, hey, what do you need? How can we help you?
Yeah.
And not only how can we help you, but how can we help empower you to even help yourself? And so I think that is is just exciting.
Yeah. I think it really takes a lot of passion to do this
Hmm.
work for community, because sometimes folks will say, well, it's a thankless job. But,
Hmm.
but I have experienced it in my roles, various roles in community. And I understand that for me, it's like I'm driven to ensure that I'm giving my energy to something that's going to
Hmm.
make things better over time. And, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in Federal Way, particularly around civic engagement.
Hmm.
And it's something that I'm always saying as a Federal Way homeowner. I'm like, you know what? Nobody's knocking on my door to get my vote. What's up
Hmm.
with that? How come it's almost as if, okay, you're going to lean Democrat. I don't really have to,
Hmm.
fight for your vote. And we just experienced in that local election, yes, we got our people back in the seats, but we also have to be able to understand that it's a relationship, and it should be, symbiotic. It should be something that's reciprocal.
Hmm.
If I am giving you my vote, what are you doing for me? Um, and I think that sometimes it's on organizations to kind of uphold that pillar for a lot of folks,
Hmm.
because it is a lot of work for individual families to have to dig in to it. And so I find that, creating that bridge is really important. Um, I just love that you guys are out. You guys are doing great work, with small businesses and connecting with community members and
Hmm.
families. I look forward to more collaboration with you all out there in Federal Way. You guys have an event coming up, and I want to be able to talk
Yes.
about that because it's exciting when you give opportunities also to
Hmm.
vendors and small businesses. Tell us more about this event.
Yes, I'm so excited. So at Thomas Jefferson High School on Saturday, November 19th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., we are going to be holding a community event. It's merely one of our board members' birthday. And
Wow.
so his idea was to be able to give back to his community and to bring community together. And we're we got excited at the collective. Oh yeah, we that's what we love to do. So we are going to be offering an opportunity for vendors to come in and be able to vend and whatever their products are. But also it's a way to we're going to be feeding 33 families. And so we're with our community partners. They have chosen the 33 families who will be receiving meals for Thanksgiving. And then we're also going to be having a concert. And so we're asking that for those who would like to attend, if you don't have anything to bring, that's fine. But we're asking that you bring a canned good item because we would like to replenish one of the food banks that have donated to these families. So, yeah, it's going to be really exciting. So, we're going to have a concert, we're going to have live poetry, and we're just going to have fun.
Yeah. These kinds of markets where
Hmm.
we come together as community members to uplift the amazing businesses right in our backyard is so key.
Hmm.
It always takes me back to how the roaring towns of, I always say roaring towns of the 20s, but I'm referring to so many more than just Black Wall Street,
Hmm.
right? But they were all over the
Yeah.
place, other than Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I'm always thinking about these amazing Black towns that's really what essentially what
Hmm.
they were doing. They created infrastructure, so they had a lot of brick and mortar
Hmm.
that really showcase businesses. But the ideas of us tapping back into that resilience, I always think about this amazing iconic wall we have behind us, right? That is always a reminder for me every day on this show that we're tapping back into that brilliance and
Hmm.
those opportunities to elevate those amazing vendors. It takes a lot to be a vendor,
Oh yeah.
right? But just to elevate the amazing folks who have said, I'm going to take this idea from an idea to creation and then bring it out to my community is so key. Plus a concert. I mean, you can't go wrong with music and also serving these families for the
Mhm.
holidays. How beautiful is that? You guys are already thinking about this kind of reciprocity by
Uh-huh.
saying, bring a canned good so we can help replenish the food bank.
Mhm.
I love that because that's the work of community-based organizations. That's what we get to do in community. It's so great to talk to you, Taniesha, and hear more about this. I'll give you an opportunity if folks want to connect with the Federal Way Black Collective, if they want to come out. Maybe there's a great vendor who didn't know about the opportunity. Make
Mhm.
sure they know how to connect with you all right there.
Yes, you can connect at info@fwblackcollective.com, and you can leave an email there, or you can email me directly at Tanisha, Taniesha .Lyons, Lyons at FW Black Collective and blackcollective.com.
Mhm.
And I am looking forward to hearing from the community. We'll be having some community events starting in the new year. And so I'm just really, really excited about the good work that the collective is getting to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's necessary. And I
Yes.
love that there is something that people can connect to because I'm finding small hubs,
Hmm.
small hubs throughout Federal Way. But I love that Federal Way Black Collective is on top of this and is saying, we're stepping out. You guys are doing events. You guys are going to be having more next year. I can't wait to be even more connected. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. I'm